Hello, hello, Naomi, back here again, ready to rant to my heart's content. Thank you for choosing Writing Rants. That's WRANTS. We appreciate all of you dutiful listeners. And if you're new to our podcast, 1,000 welcomes. We hope that you gain a little bit of something, something here from our ramblings. Today's episode is actually pretty intriguing. We're going to talk about how to create a productive writing atmosphere and how that can relate to relieving and possibly avoiding writer's block. And I don't just mean changing your atmosphere as in I'm going to change the curtains, I'm going to turn my desk around to face the opposite direction, reorganizing my bookshelf, even though that is one of my personal favorite pastimes. But no, I'm talking about changing your mental atmosphere. And instead of boring you with my conjecture, I have here with me today Forex trader Josiah Kemp, who's going to talk to you guys about the power of your mindset and how that can affect your growth as a writer. Take it away, Mr. Kemp.
Thank you, Naomi, for the introduction. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to these people. If you guys don't know, my name is Josiah Kemp. Yes, I'm a trader. Yes, I'm a network marketer. But more importantly, I love to inspire people to do what it is we're doing, right? We are going away from the norm. We're pursuing what it is that we want. And we're trying to put out our messages and not only convey the people we are, but maybe convey people who are relatable to other people. And so they may learn from the lessons that we show them, right? Now, what I'm here to talk to you guys about is mainly the power of your thoughts and the power of belief, right? In terms of thoughts, everything that you could possibly think to conceive into your reality, well, first you must understand that it's already been conceived in another individual's reality, right? So now you know that it's possible. What you now have to figure out is what progressive steps do you have to take to realize that worthy ideal, right? Success. That's what I want you guys to write down as your definition for success, actually. The continuous realization of a worthy ideal. So now you have that idea. Maybe the idea is a story. Maybe the idea is a character. Maybe the idea is something that you want to obtain in your life, as in like maybe the New York Times review or something like that, something along those lines. Maybe 1,000, a million copies. You that's what you want to be brought into your reality, and it first starts with your attitude and your mindset, right? Now, so first off, we're going to talk about the power of thought. Now, you guys, what I have to explain to you is that for every thought that you've ever had, from the moment you was able to, it has shaped and formed the person who you are now and will continue to do so for the future, right? So now that we know that our thoughts shape who we have to start thinking progressively. We have to think ahead. We have to envision what it is that we want to desire. And the only way to get there is to first make it a goal. If you could imagine, millionaires do not become millionaires by accident. It was first intentional, right? We're not talking about the lottery. So you guys envision yourself, let's say you want to be the top author in the world. We make the goals big. Top author, top editor in the world, right? Now you have that vision of yourself. You have to first describe the person you're gonna be once you are that person, right? That's the part of thinking ahead, right? That's a part of not only having the idea, but also conceiving it. Because guess what? Now you can tell yourself what that person is gonna wear, how that person is gonna act, what that person has under his belt, under his name, his or her name. You have to start thinking ahead. So you want to say anything?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I know the person that I want to be. So by knowing that, seeing that every day, I can take daily, what is the word I'm looking for? Not measured. I can take, I can take intentional steps toward that goal on a daily basis because I'm aware of who I want to be and the stumbling blocks that get in the way of me becoming that person.
Word. So remember we had that other definition for goals, Naomi. It was goals should be for y'all your direction, right? your goal is where you want to be. It's person you want to be, right? And do understand the moment that you have that one goal, that one purpose, and that one direction, everything that can possibly present itself to steer you away from it will, because it requires less resistance. If your goal was easy to obtain, anybody would do it. There is resistance in front of you. Now you have to take that either half-heartedly, or you take that heading full on. And it all depends on how strong of a goal that is for you, right? Is your why stronger than your when, right? Do you not care when it's going to happen? You're going to keep working for it because you want to. That's your why. That's the person you want to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My why is because I want to help people. I want to help writers who are discouraged, like I was discouraged, to reach their goals. That's my why. But everybody's why is different.
For sure. Everybody's why is different. Everybody's version of success is different. It's unique to them. That's the beauty of the field that we're in, guys. We are in a different path. We are entrepreneurs in our own right. You guys have to take the creative factors that are your thoughts and apply them into your convictions of not only these characters and these situations, but just how you present yourself as a whole. We use the word tone when we think about, well, what's the author really thinking, right? You guys have to convey that. You guys have to master that in your own right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Was that everything that you had wanted to bring to us today, Josiah?
I had a couple more because, first of all, guys, these are all pretty good ideas to incorporate into your daily routine, right? But the whole key word, daily routine, right? You have to become consistent, not only with how you're feeding your mind with all the positivity, but how you carry yourself in your progressive actions to realize your goal, right? It has to be a daily basis. For me, to keep my spirit up and uplifting, I go out on the porch, I put on some music, and I sing to the woods, right? I wake up, the first thing, even before that, I go to my goal wall and I read off my goals. You guys should write down your goals, I might add, because words alone and thoughts alone, guys, are spiritual, right? When you write them down, you're putting them into the physical world. You can see it, you can feel it, right? You can bring value to it the same way value has been brought to anything else that has been brought into the world, guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a little goal wall myself. It's a bunch of sticky notes, and they're slowly but surely falling off the wall, but I have to keep tacking them back up. And as I'm doing that, I'm rereading all of the goals that I have and making sure that I am taking steps in that direction each and every day.
Yeah, I mean, I had a goal that fell down, but I thought that it fell down for a reason, so I left it there. But I love to tell people about it, though. I might have to show you after. But the other aspect to consistency is also accountability. If I can go through this real quickly, guys, I keep myself accountable every single day, and it's really as simple as writing down. All right, today I did blank to realize my goal blank. Right? You have to fill in your blank every single day, right? If you didn't fill in your blank today, you were not productive, right? And the whole key about that is, guys, if you can track it, you can grow it, you can improve upon it, right? But first, you have to track it down. You have to know, you have to realize the progression, and then make changes and adjustments to boost and propel you towards where it is you want to be, right? Trajectory is key, right? But we can change our velocity once we start getting excited.
Right. And our accountability, our beliefs, and our direction all correlate into our motivations, into our mindset, and that can make or break you no matter what you're doing.
For sure, for sure. But back to consistency. Listen, we got to keep going. Even when you're faced with those L's, you just turn it into a lesson, right? When a ball is going down a hill, It doesn't choose when it's going to gain momentum. It's gaining momentum the entire time. It doesn't bounce over here, slide over here. It's going to keep going down its one path, right? That's the sort of bulletproof mindset you got to have. You are invincible. Nothing will steer you away from the direction you want to go.
And sometimes when, as writers, we get into the spot where we're looking at our paper or we're looking at the screen and we don't feel that there's anything coming to us, we feel like we're just stuck in that block. Going back to that consistency of our mindset can help us pull through. I want to thank you, Josiah Kemp, for your input and your expertise. If any of you guys out there liked what Josiah had to say and are interested in learning more about what he does and about his societal views, we will have his Instagram link in our description. Now, you might be wondering, what in God's name does any of this have to do with writing and how to get me out of writer's block? To you, I say, hold your horses. You have to build a foundation before you can build a house. And now that Josiah has set that base, and now that it's firm, let's add another layer. Last week, I spoke with Colette Zito, who focuses on how yoga and meditation and self-care can aid the creative process. Colette actually told me that she hasn't experienced writer's block in so long that she has forgotten what it feels like. Now, does that not sound blissful? She went on to tell me how her biggest stumbling block was her physical bodily pain. And for those of you who have ever tried to sit at a desk and write for any given amount of time, Josiah, I'm sure you know how that feels like. You can understand how distracting pain can be to any process, especially the creative process. Colette went on to tell me the ease with which she took steps to alleviate that problem once she could identify it. And that's what Josiah was talking to us about earlier. You have to be aware of your stumbling blocks in order to avoid them, in order to maintain that consistency and create a mindset to avoid them and to prepare for them. We often think of writing as a simplistic process. I think the things, and then I write the things that I think. Consider that for a moment. Writing begins with what you think in your head, and as Josiah pointed out, what we think defines us as a person as well, and it will continue to define us as a person. So if your mind is clouded with self-doubt, if you are obstinate to try anything new, you'll never grow. This is an ode to our last episode where we talked about our writer's journey. You can't move forward if you don't take steps. You can't take steps if you believe that you can't lift your legs. So what I'm saying, what Colette said, and what Josiah said, is that you need to be open, you need to be positive, and you need to be aware of where you are in your part of the journey. All right, guys, this is where I am going to leave you for today. I know that we went past our 15 minutes by just a smidge, but it was all for the sake of a good cause. Again, you can connect with Forex trader Josiah Kemp on Instagram. Colette Zito is still in the process of putting together her social media site, so ear out in our future episodes for that announcement. I want to thank Josiah again for joining us. We loved having you here. I want to thank you as an audience for showing your support. You can show further support by subscribing to our channel, liking, sharing, following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're definitely in a symbiotic relationship here. We couldn't do this without you. Please join us again next week. We have an interesting and unique material in store. Ciao, comrades.